Okay guys, so hi, today I'm shooting my third YouTube video and I think it's the last YouTube video for this year, and I will be talking about some life hacks, how to improve your spoken English. Maybe you can use some of them, and I hope that it will be useful for you. Honestly, at the primary school I didn't love English so much, but I started to love it when I went to the courses, and my teacher was so motivating, and like she made every lesson like a game for us, and we were kids, like, yeah, and that's not surprising. And so from the 5th grade, the English lesson at school was like my favorite lesson. So at the 10th grade, I think I was a volunteer at the American Corner Shymkent, and I was working there I think a year, and I was working in a conversation club. So I did really like it. It was a great experience for me, and just I do recommend you to go and have some volunteer work. The first life hack is about pronunciation. So start with pronunciation, even if your grammar is good, but pronunciation is not so good. People won't understand you, and so if you it's not about English, it's about every lesson, like every language, I mean. So start with pronunciations. English is about opening your mouth really high. I mean, what I noticed that English speakers, like native English speakers, opening their mouths really high while speaking to pronounce every word really, like, certainly for us to understand, for the listeners to understand. So I think that English is about opening your mouth. So another life hack is to practice with native speakers, or maybe at least with those who wants to talk in English well. For example, here in our university you can find a lot of them, or you don't really have to move somewhere to the UK or to the US. There are lots of websites, dozens of websites like Skype, even like a lot of websites to chat with some native speakers and to improve your English, so you don't have to waste your money. It's not a secret that we're talking to ourselves inside of us, so try to talk with yourself in English. That really helps. That's what I do every time, and I think it's like a best life hack ever. Try to think in English, think with you, like talk with you, for example, at night when I can't sleep. I'm always like remembering things, and think that if I did it right or not. So try to think about those things in English. So that would be so helpful. I just promise that maybe in months you will see that you improved your. So another life hack is to watch your favorite movies, or just movies in English without subtitles. I think it would be better, because if you watch a movie and you see subtitles below, you don't watch a movie. You just read some subtitles, and it's not about watching. It's not like you're watching a movie. And for example, I started watching some English movies from a cartoon. It was a serial of cartoons named Daria. It was just so like clear. Their speaking was so clear, and I think that's a great cartoon to start with. I'll put some fragments from this cartoon for you.
The nice man told us we could have the car for $100 over dealer's cost. And
Hey, Janie. Hey, whoa.
Mom's resentful that she has to work so hard, which obscures her guilt about actually wanting to work so hard. Dad's guilty about being less driven than Mom, but thinks it's wrong to feel that way, so he hides behind a smokescreen of cluelessness. Quinn wears superficiality like a suit of armor, 'cause she's afraid of looking inside and finding absolutely nothing. And I'm so defended that I actively work to make people dislike me so I won't feel bad when they do. Can I go now?
You barely said a word.
Yeah, Daria, tell your dad what edgy is.
As far as I can make out, edgy occurs when middle-brow, middle-aged profiteers are looking to suck the energy, not to mention spending money, out of the quote-unquote youth culture. So they come up with this fake concept of seeming to be dangerous when every move they make is the result of market research and a corporate master plan.
I'll also upload a list of best movies and cartoons with understandable spoken English, I mean. So that would be useful for you. Another life hack is to sing along with your favorite songs. The music has the ability to lodge up into your head, and actually it's so annoying sometimes, but let's use it as an advantage. So to learn English. Another life hack is to become obsessed with the language you're learning. It's not about English. It can be about French, about any language. I mean Chinese. When I was learning English, I was like obsessed. I was interested, and I think it really helps. So I think English, it's about copying and pasting some new words from the native speaker and pasting them into your vocabulary while you're speaking. So if you do that, I think that your speaking skills will be like improved in a really good way. So another life hack, it's also not about English, it's about every lesson, every your hobby. Get out of your comfort zone. It's really like useful for you. It will be really useful for you, I mean, and like create a new challenge for you every day, and you'll see an upgrade. So I think living among the people who speaks English or maybe Chinese, like any language that you learn very well, I mean, into their environment is really useful. So if you have an opportunity, I recommend you to visit the country you are learning a language of your language. I mean, if it can be. But if you have an opportunity, but it's not necessary, you can be a good speaker. So another funny hack is to pretend a foreigner in your city. But unless you have a small city like mine, it would be strange. But if you have a big city and you are sure that you won't meet those people that you meet today, it would be okay. For example, when I was on Expo in Astana in 2017, I was like walking through the pavilions and pretended as a foreigners, and I was so surprised. Well, they believed me, or maybe they pretended they believed me, but I don't know. But it was funny. It was a good experience. So another tip for you is to improve your vocabulary also. For example, try to learn at least 5 words a day. 5 expensive words that we don't use. The expensive words we don't use like every day, but those expensive words will help you while you're working, for example, in your profession. So in conclusion, I want to say that there are 2 purposes to learn English. First is to get a job, to get into the university. That's kind of a low motivational thing. And the second is just because you want to learn something new. You're obsessed with the new language. So this tends to be a more effective form of motivation, and people who are motivated in a second type of motivation, they achieve a lot of good results. Unfortunately, a lot of new English learners have a really negative view about learning English. Have you ever found yourself saying for example, have you found yourself saying things like, my English is probably full of mistakes, I've been studying for years and my English is still bad. And for example, I'm afraid to speak. I'll probably make a lot of mistakes to a native speaker. I can tell you honestly, your English is probably better than you can imagine. So of course, there's a lot of work to do, but you're started to do this, so that's a big achievement for you. So don't give up. Just go on making little steps. A big mistake while learning English is to compare your speaking English or your grammar in English to others. Even if you compare your English to a native speakers or some people who achieved a lot, they achieved a lot because they were studying a lot, and native speakers know their English just how you know your mother language. So I think that won't be efficient to compare. It's not about learning some new language. It's about everything. Never compare yourself to others. That's a big mistake. Visualize the end of a goal. So while visualizing the end of a goal, you will have a big motivation to go on studying. So my tip for you is to not to be afraid to make mistakes while you're speaking to a native speaker or maybe to the person who knows English well. I think it's okay. Like everybody makes mistakes, and even native speaker would make a mistake while talking in your language. So don't be afraid. if you will be afraid to make mistakes, you will never learn English. So that's it for today, and I hope that those life hacks were useful to you. Maybe your English will be much better after watching my video. I just really hope so. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you loved it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and put your thumbs up. I'm just really looking forward to this. Maybe I'm repeating this a third time, but that's a task for my midterm, and please don't criticize me. I'm not a blogger. I'm just trying to get some good points on my midterm. And yes, thank you for watching. Bye. Love you.